What up, y'all? Welcome to the Gobi Games Podcast. I'm your host, Gobi. With me tonight is Alpha, Nighthawk, and Smurg. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you? Halfway around the
Uh,
world, and we still made
it's
this work.
it's kind of early in the morning.
Yeah. Well, good morning to you guys over there, and it's, well, late over here. It's a late night podcast.
It's a late night podcast.
Way past my bedtime.
Yeah,
9 freaking 30 over there, whatever.
So Jess also had to punk out. She's gonna hate me later because she has no idea. Uh, it's past her bedtime as well. Uh, Alpha soldiered up and made it here, so Jess gonna have to step up that game, girl.
She's on her phone too. She could totally be in here.
Oh, getting called out live. Ouch.
I thought you was on the couch with the dog.
No, we're talking about somebody else.
Oh, Jess.
Jess, yeah, she's just apparently chilling on her phone.
I see you in that Discord. I see you.
All right, so let's move
Oh,
on.
we got Trey too.
Oh. Uh, all right, they're probably playing World of Warcraft or something. Let's hope. Anyway, moving on. Fallout 76. New season starts. If you're listening to this on the 15th, it starts on the 15th. It's also a small patch. I don't know what they mean by small because they haven't described it. If we're going Call of Duty small, this is like a 20 gigabyte patch. So
20
Hey,
gigabyte
anything
patch.
that's smaller than Call of Duty patches.
yeah, no, that's a small patch for Call of Duty. Is a 20 gigabyte patch. I mean, everywhere else that's like a large patch, but Call of Duty that's just small. Anyway, the new season, Scribe Avalon, starts on the 15th. And from looking at the, what do they call this? A game board? Their scoreboard or whatever.
Yeah, the new season board or whatever the hell they call it.
The main chick or whatever, reminds me of H.G. Wells from Warehouse 13. So I'm kind of intrigued. I actually want to pay attention and find out more about this Katie Inkwell.
I don't
They're
know.
kinda
I
gonna
just,
change
I just wish I
steampunkish.
could be Alistair. That's all I care about. Give me Alistair's armor.
I think she's hot.
She's a redhead, so she's got that going
Yeah.
for her.
Hey, she's Gobi's type. She's a redhead.
So there's also apparently rewards to light allies. Basically NPCs that do shit in your camp. They either feed you or gives you medical supplies.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's what a post-apocalyptic utopian needs: is more servants.
Yes. At least they're NPCs instead of robots. They got some backpack flares. I don't really care about this. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, who wants a dangly rocket on their backpack? Come on, everybody does.
All right. Now the next one, the antique speed bag. This is actually pretty funny because it reminds me of an old joke from the Division 1 days. So if you didn't know this, but in the Division 1, if you did what is it? Jumping jacks, you gained health by doing jumping jacks.
I do remember that.
So the speed bag, if you go into you put one in your camp and you use it, it temporarily increases your agility for using it. I did get a pretty good chuckle. It's interesting mechanic. I don't know how well it'll really actually work in the game. Yeah. Nighthawk was interested with the perfect bubblegum.
Yeah, I mean, it'll just be kind of cool, depending on how, like,
Oh,
prevalent it is, how easy it is to find and get. It'll just kind of be nice, because, I mean, looking at what it is, it basically refills your hunger and your thirst.
for an hour.
Yeah, and it removes your need to eat or drink for an hour. So, I'm interested in two different ways it's going to go. Either they're going to make it something that's somewhat prevalent and easy to find, or it's going to be a situation where they start to pay to win kind of thing. So I'll be interested to see how they take that, because they have a pretty good chance of, I mean, using it as something you can microtransaction the hell out of.
Yeah, let's hope not.
Let's hope not. But I mean, this is this is Fallout and Bethesda we're
Yeah,
talking about
I
here.
mean, everything in the camp thing or the shelter thing is the microtransaction. Yeah, let's move on. Perk coins. Rank up your legendary perks more quickly by filling your pockets with some perk coins. I don't have any of those yet, so that the only person that one probably concerns is Smurg, Mister. I have 100 level.
I got a few perk coins.
Of course you do.
Right?
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah.
surprise anybody?
I'm excited about the stash increase though. That's my favorite. Because
Uh,
you can't have too many leather chest piece and right raider arms.
right? They're increasing it by 50% to a maximum of 1,200 pounds.
I remember when 600 pounds got increased, and I was like, oh, thank you.
I think it's currently at 800, is what it
Yeah.
is, which I mean
Yep.
isn't bad. I don't think I've quite filled it up. It's pretty close though. They're
That's your
changing.
stack.
Huh?
I mean, that's a box in your house. You should be able to put more than 800 pounds in your box in your house.
Yeah, that's true. They're changing
Like
how stack weight works too, which will be interesting. I just feel like yeah. Moving on. Pip-Boy updates. They got some. I won't go into my long ass rant on that. So the Pip-Boy's finally getting an update so we can sort shit. Like you. Yeah. Anyway.
I'm not gonna lie. If I had to, deal with, if I actually had to deal with anything of Fallout, if it was a fucking Pip-Boy, I might kill myself.
Oh my god. Like trying to find anything on that thing is so bad.
I
Um.
don't even like to use it.
So Fallout 76, you're allowed to use mods. They're a gray area. One of the mods you can use is it basically changes your menu stats and stuff inside your Pip-Boy, so it sorts everything and it tells you what's good and what's bad and whatnot. And they're basically integrating that mod into the game. Separate tab for food and drink, so you have one for your medicine and then one for strictly food and drink. About fucking time. just saying. Yeah, so that's good.
What do you mean I have 47 armor chest pieces? Should have disassembled those a long time ago.
Right. And then the map is getting an update to vending machine map previews. It's pretty neat. The only thing that they could do better is do more than just the vendors, do everything. But maybe that'll be future. We can hope.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
You know what else would be nice? Since we're talking about what would be nice in Fallout, is if they just gave private worlds to everybody. Just because that would just be better. Like,
But then that would mean they would lose out on the $12 a month that they steal from all of us.
yeah, no, they'd still get it.
Probably.
I don't know. If everybody played in private worlds, then griefing would be a lot more popular because you just screw with your friends.
Yeah.
Let's go kill Gobi.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that, but at the same time, like, it's not really it's not necessarily grieving. If it's your friends.
It's hazing. Yeah.
It's hazing.
Yeah, usually you get back whatever you got taken. Like,
Exactly. If real grieving is gonna be, you lose all your crap and they just screw with you because they can.
Well, if you're 12 years old, you should be playing Fallout.
True.
Hey, yeah. Loki loves it, man.
Well, Loki's at like 9 going on 30, so he's an
It's
exception.
He was talking smack about you today.
the other day. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I love my I love my
I
little
love
man.
that kid, man. I love him.
Holiday Scorched Return. I've actually never
Mm.
played one of these events, so I'm ready to go kill me some Santa Scorched.
Santas.
I mean, who doesn't love shooting Santa? All right, that
Wrong
was a
with you
joke.
people?
Keep an ear out for the sound of jingling bells.
She's awake.
Bring them
Surprisingly,
away.
I thought she fell asleep.
It's
Nope.
kind of like, Zombieland. You get the, kill of the month. I nailed Santa when he was running across the reindeer's top.
Santa alone.
But the bright side, it's not actually Santa. They just look like a very ugly Santa. If he was
Yeah, but
dead.
for him to be in the Santa outfit, either he had to put it on or he was already wearing it when he became a Scorch. So how many people was it a Santa convention? Or,
Definitely that. We're going with that. It was
SantaCon.
definitely.
it's a SantaCon.
It had to be.
In
Have
the
you
days
ever
after
seen
Christmas, Santa.
SantaCon? It's hilarious.
I
Yeah.
would honestly almost be scared. Like that would be
Too
too
much
much
Nuka shine going
joy.
on that.
Too much joy in one area. Like something's
No,
gotta
what
go
they do
wrong.
is like it's a thing during the holidays, like well, pre-Rona, but like in New York City, there's a dedicated day and these like groups of people get together and they just go bar hopping dressed up as Santa.
That turns into a
Um.
bad Santa episode real quick.
Sight to be seen.
So this is where we get all these bad moms Christmas movies and bad Santa Christmas movies. Got it. Good to know.
Lindsay
Uh,
Lohan, you've got a future.
Future,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure she's already done it.
Speaking of that, Toys for Tots charity stream. Bah! Oh, couldn't help it. I'm sorry. Just sorry. It was horrible. Uh, so apparently on Thursday, December 17th, Fallout's gonna have a Toys for Tot charity stream. Lindsay Lohan will not be joining, unfortunately.
Damn it.
I know.
But Pete Hines, Jessica Finster, and Devon McCarthy will be there.
Okay. Yep.
Guzzling Nuka shine,
I was gonna say as they guzzle their Nuka shine.
which you didn't. I said it.
I want some moonshine.
They'll also be blowing up balloons.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Yes.
You need to come down to my neck of the woods before I moved over to Europe.
Yeah, well,
Now it's
Well,
called grappa, rakia, and what's one other name they use for it? Oh, palenka. If you go to Romania.
grappa. No, not that stuff. Nope.
She says no. The lady.
That is
says
a
no.
hard no.
That's what all you Yankees say anyway.
I'm just gonna say she's saying no that bad. I want to at least try it. I mean, one's not gonna make me go blackout drunk, right?
It just tastes like cough syrup. It's gross.
Oh, I mean,
Depends on the-
okay.
so
That's,
grappa's the distilled version of wine. You take the leftover wine dregs, the stems, the twigs, all the kind of stuff that's part of the wine. You crunch it all up and you distill it instead of ferment it like a wine.
Yeah, so
And
it's
it
terrible
does it.
grape cough syrup.
It comes out as
It's
this
disgusting.
stuff.
all right.
Ugh. It was always in my house as a kid, and I'll never forget when I was finally able to try it. Oh my gosh, I wanted to throw up. It was terrible.
Yeah,
You were
so
you-
good.
So wishing you hadn't tried it at that point.
Very much so. I
That's
will
the
drink
Italian
limoncello
Jägermeister.
all day long. Grappa?
I was
No.
gonna say she's the limoncello girl.
I don't know what that is. I
Uh.
like things that taste like gasoline.
It doesn't
Nom, nom,
taste
nom.
like gasoline. It's
That's
great.
grappa. Limoncello is what they give you after you eat a nice meal. It's a little
Oh.
call it aperitif lemon thing. They put it in a freezer, make it really cold.
It's great.
Yeah. Speaking of cold cases, Left 4 Dead. Where are you? Nowhere to be seen. 20 years. What now?
No,
No.
It was Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead is gone. That's
Yeah.
because
Hey, Back 4 Blood.
Back 4 Blood.
There is
This
a
game,
closed alpha. Starts on December 17th. You can sign up now on their website. Um,
this
if you,
game
yeah,
looks badass.
yeah. If you ever played Left 4 Dead, just go play the game. Like,
Yeah, basically.
if you hated
It's
Left 4 Dead, I'm sorry, but you're gonna hate this game.
Yeah, that's a very true statement. It looks, I mean, it's definitely exactly the same creators as Left 4 Dead, and you can definitely see that. But it does look pretty good.
Yeah, they changed up the zombies a little bit. They went more like, I'll call it Resident Evil style, where they got some
Uh,
other bigger, like, monster zombies or
It
different
reminds
infected.
me a little more like a first. Well, I guess it's technically first person too, but it reminds me a little more of Dying Light.
Your new addiction.
Yeah, a little bit.
Hey,
He was sitting on the couch playing it before this started.
Yep.
I bashing zombies' heads in never gets old.
I will say that I have realized, even though they have that whole event going on right now, the Left 4 Dead event,
Mm.
it's still much more efficient to use a meleeed weapon in that game,
Oh
which
yes, for
makes this game look a little more fun because looks like it doesn't friggin' matter what you use in this game. Whatever you use is gonna do the job.
sure. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's quite nice watching a zombie just explode from the chest up as you put a couple of bullets into him.
Uh, the only downside is it doesn't release until next June. Um, which bummer, but that's all right. We got plenty of good games coming out. Outriders comes out in February, and another game we'll talk about later in the podcast.
I mean, come on. We could
Oh.
push them really hard until they release it really early, like Cyberpunk.
Yay!
Don't
We're
be stealing
gonna
the thunder.
we're not gonna get into Cyberpunk just yet. We got other things to talk about. We got way more controversial shit to talk about than that. First up though, Electronic Arts buys Codemaster.
No, they tried to buy it.
They
No, they
tried.
actually they bought it today
So they
for
closed.
it's like 1.2 billion.
Yeah.
They ended up buying it for.
And
A
Codemaster
business
is the
deal to
maker
close
of.
out the year.
Well, they beat out Take-Two, which I'm not sure if I give a shit which one of those two got this studio. If that makes sense.
That's because Take-Two has to pay all the money back, right?
No, well, it's not. They were the ones, the other people that were buying. It was Take-Two
Yeah.
and EA were bidding on it. Obviously Take-Two has Grand Theft Auto, which would have been maybe driving would have been better in the next Grand Theft Auto game.
Well, and the Red Dead franchise.
And
Yeah, but how
the
much
other
better
side
can you really
is
make
that
riding a horse?
the other side is Electronic Arts
Road.
get it, and Need for Speed gets better. Because that's, yeah, I mean, plus they'll probably be able to push out, obviously, the F1 games that they already do, and the dirt games, which are surprisingly popular. I've never actually ever played one, but a lot of people I know actually have played one of the dirt racing games. Alright, now let's get into some serious shit. Alright? It's got to be serious because Microsoft,
Oh, boy.
Nintendo, and Sony all said it. So it's got to be serious. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
this-
for them to come together on a topic and all agree.
Make gaming safer for the vulnerable players. How about parents freaking buck up, watch what your kids are doing?
So after reading this article, this is the biggest piece of PR pie ever in the fucking world. Like, it is a
It is
whole
literally
bunch
like the
of fucking
feel-good-
nothing.
Yep, it is like, it's the definition of we're gonna make you feel better by kissing your ass, but
And
not
not saying
actually
a word.
committing to do anything. We're just gonna
This-
make it seem like we're committed to doing something.
I don't know. They said the statement will comply with all local law, respond with all local law requests from
They-
law enforcement. We'll promptly notify law enforcement officers if we observe unlawful conduct, or
They
we
have
believe
been
there's a risk
saying
of
that
imminent harm.
since the very beginning.
I'm calling the cops.
Certain
Hey,
point,
don't they call
like
that swatting?
I don't understand. Like at a certain point,
By
I mean,
EA
Merc has
Games.
a point. My parents raised me to know better.
I think
I
we
like-
all
It-
agree with Spurg. We're
You know, like it's. I'm sorry,
People think
but
game
I don't
consoles
need a.
are parenting by proxy.
ooh.
7-year-old turning around being like, she said shit! And like getting in trouble. I'm sorry. I'm an adult. I'm allowed to use a.
Explicit.
How do I.
Expletive.
Yeah, sure. But like, I'm allowed to speak. I know how to use those words. And I
English?
know.
Explicit words.
But
It's
the
okay.
thing is like, I am allowed to say them when I want to.
Didn't we put the child safe labels on the games a couple years back and say this is PG whatever?
We
If
did.
you don't want your kid hearing the word shit,
We
and fuck,
did in the
Yeah,
age
I-
of...
for everyone.
Yeah. But nobody cares about those anymore. Even though they're still around, nobody cares about them.
Nope.
And it's
Let's
funny.
just-
It's like sneaking into an R-rated movie.
Well, and that's the thing, like, it's not even sneaking anymore. Like,
No, parents are enabling and buying it for their kids.
well, and that's the other thing, too. But, like, since the age of, Xbox Marketplace and PlayStation and Steam and all of that, there's no real check on your age. Like, before, when we all had to go stand in line for 9 million hours at GameStop
with your parent.
with our parent, or go in with our parent because they were like, hey, let's see your ID. Now you can go into GameStop as a 12-year-old and be like, I want to buy Grand Theft Auto. And they're like, yeah, sure, fuck it, whatever.
Hey, Smurg.
Well, again, if parents were taking care of themselves or their children, then they set up a child account, then that
Yes.
would be stopped before they actually got there. They would have to actually
Most
request
people.
permission. Now,
Yes.
if your kids also hacked your email account and can consent at the same time as do the purchase, you're screwed. You know what? If your kid's that smart, learning the word fuck's not going to be a problem.
Exactly.
they
That's
already
even
know
the
it
thing,
anyway.
like, I have a sister in middle school, and she's well aware. Like, we don't tiptoe around her with our language. My parents don't. You want to say fuck? You say fuck, and she just looks at you and kind of laughs. She knows that she's not
But she
supposed to
said
say
she
it.
gets an ass whipping.
No, my dad's told her, he's like, it's use it in the right context, you're not in trouble.
Let's be honest.
Well, you're
we're
an
all
Italian family, so fuck everything. There's this fucking spaghetti and the
I
fucking
was gonna
pizza
say,
over there.
let's be honest. We're also talking about a girl from New York here, so you can't really take that into too much consideration.
No, but she knows better than to, go to school and be like, oh, what the hell, or, this sucks. Like, that's the thing, is she knows better.
She
Both
yells
of
at
those
everyone
were.
down the hall. She goes, "Hey, I'm fucking walking here."
I was gonna say both of those statements that you just said, Paige, are common language. Like,
I understand that, but not when you're in middle school. Like, you don't say that around your teachers.
And she knows because she probably had nuns.
yeah. See, yeah.
Paige did have nuns. That is
Mer,
correct.
get out of my head.
I know. She was, if she grew up in Long Island and it was Italian, she went to a Catholic school. Trust me, I know.
In Long Island. I grew up on Long Island.
Yeah,
whatever.
smurg.
All right. Anyway, we're gonna move on quick because we got this gonna go for a minute because this just. So, Cyberpunk 2077, it had the greatest launch since Fallout 76. Oh,
And it was
also
a
had
great,
the
and it is and will be a great game.
It
and
will
it
be.
also had the greatest return since.
Oh, wait, we're not
Only-
going to get into that yet. First, we're going to read this statement from Cyberpunk 2077. I can't do it with a straight face, so bear with me,
Well,
guys.
hold on. Let me pull it back up. I had it up a second ago.
Dear gamers, first of all, we would like to start by apologizing to you for not showing the game on base last-gen consoles before it premiered, and in consequence, not allowing you to make a more informed decision about your purchase. What are you trying? Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. Because this game was originally supposed to be put out on only PS4 and Xbox One. This game was originally set to launch before the PS5 and the Xbox Series X was even
Yeah, I want to say it was
announced.
May 9th or something like that was the original date.
April. It was April of.
I thought it was April.
Yeah, it was April 21st of this year, which was the original release date. And the PS5, I don't even think it had officially been announced at that time. Or if it had just been announced. And so this game actually, it looks bad. Like, obviously we had Sophie on the Gunslinger Gaming Frosty Pines podcast the other day, and she was talking about, because she owns it on PS4, and she was describing the graphics and some of the issues she had. And so Smurg is the only one here who actually owns the game, and he's seen both sides of Cyberpunk's Janus face. So, Smurg, where would you like to start? Good or bad?
I would first like to say it's a great game. It's good. But I am a dedicated PC player. I don't play with the $500 toy that everybody likes to call a console, whether it's your PS flavor, your Xbox, whatever, or a Nintendo,
X-Spice.
you know,
X-Spice.
or a cube. I don't know. CJ's got a cube somewhere, tucked away.
Oh, probably. I mean, you know exactly where it's tucked, but we're not going to go
Ex-
there. Right now.
Exactly. But those devices are great for your average game, but they're a $500, solution, and you're not going to get $2,000 graphics and performance off of a $500 solution. Given that, yes, they don't have to have all the rest of the overhead that a computer does to do all the other computing tasks, but you know what? Gaming was developed by computers, not consoles. Consoles came second. Therefore, and this is a whole different subject we can come up with later on about consoles versus PCs.
Yep.
But
we could have
in the end,
we could have an entire
the end-
podcast about it.
Cyberpunk was being developed on PCs, by PCs, for PCs, and the console community at the same time. Yes, there might be a little deception there, but I don't think it was on purpose. I just think, there was a little short-sightedness in that your standard gaming rig PC plays it fantastic. I still haven't bought a new rig from my original one that I created about 10 years ago. It's still running its full big quad core potential and about 32 gig of RAM. It doesn't even have a GTX board. Well, it does. It has like a 280 GTX, not a high-end video card. But it plays it fantastic. I haven't had a single crash, a single glitch, a single error in a week's worth of playing. No, on my PC. Now, on my laptop, I'm traveling right now, so on my laptop, I did have a little bit of a problem. And it is actually a bigger system. It's an i5 processor with a NVIDIA GeForce GTX, laptop travel card. And it will crash about every 10 to 15 minutes. So I've gone back to the old save now, save often mentality and playing on the laptop. But again, I'm not sure whether that's a video card issue. I went through and made sure everything was updated. And they did do a small patch that has made it a little bit more stable on the laptop. So I've experienced it in two different modes. I've experienced it with a little bit of a crashing problem. And the frustration there is obviously there are checkpoints within the game that if you haven't reached one of those checkpoints and it's done an autosave, you have to redo that checkpoint. So, I mean, that's where the frustration comes is you've got a lot of storyline, and then all of a sudden you'll have a lot of skill actions you have to go in and do. And if you crash into that skill action, you got to go back all the way through the storyline. They do have a fast forward button. So I'd remind you that if you watched it once or twice already, just hit the C button, fast forward through it, and get back to the action. So, yeah. again, that's my take on it. I think it's a great game. I think it's a fantastic genre. I think a lot of the whining, though, and this is kind of goes off into another side,
Hmm.
is because of generational differences in the cyberpunk genre. Cyberpunk is a genre that's been around for 30 years, and now I'm dating myself. And 30 years ago, you had the Johnny Mnemonics and the 20 years ago, the Matrix and all or all those aspects of the cyberpunk genre, and we didn't have platforms or games that really supported it. Now you've come up with a new game that supports that and brings that genre back. But the people who really love that history and love that genre are older folks, and so they still like that older genre in your face. So a lot of people complaining about the way cyberpunk storyline and look and everything is are people who don't really understand the genre, and they're thinking computer futuristic should all be some Destiny 2 ish world that they're running around in, and not the hard, gritty cyberpunk world that's full of sex.
Have you played the Des Ex games?
No, I have
Okay.
not. Sorry.
Oh, it's no, I just because I think like Human Revolution and Mankind Divided would both be right up your alley, and they
Yeah.
do similar things. Like Mankind Divided is a great cyberpunk single player game. Um, the controls are a little bit not as fluid as they could be, but it's pretty cool. I was hoping Cyberpunk would be co-op, but yeah, at this point, let's just get the
Yeah.
bugs fixed and worry
Hmm.
about multiplayer at a later date. Yet Nighthawk touched on the returns. They also made a statement earlier this week saying that they would offer and they would um, honor any refunds of the game for anybody who wanted it. Um, Obviously, that probably upset some people.
So
Hmm.
my favorite part about that though is, I mean, they knew, you could tell they knew it was going to upset people, and they didn't care because they very clearly stated to go through the people you bought the game for first. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, granted, yes, they also kind of gave the retailers an out by saying go through them first. If the retailers say no, screw you, then they were going to take care of the return for you. But they it's like a double-edged sword. I mean, they're jumping on a double-edged sword themselves. Do I agree with it? No. I don't think they should have really had any reason to kind of fall on their own sword. Like, yes, they made a mistake. Yes, they should have shown what a previous generation console would look like. That is slightly their fault. Is it something they should be blamed for? No. I mean, they pushed the game back for multiple reasons, but they were still pressured so hard to get this game out that how can we expect them to not release a game that isn't broken?
That's true.
Well, I think they made the mistake that a lot of game companies do, and is that they broke.
Caved.
You got inside. Well, yeah, they caved inside of their own corporation. That the marketing folks are like, we've got to get it out now. The
Yes.
decision maker, he listened to marketing versus the engineers. And
Yes.
you know what? That's you rest or die on that type of
Yeah.
decision.
And I mean,
So
it's like you think about what this game could have been if they had waited a year. Even even even
6 months.
6 months. Like
Yeah.
6 months would have changed this game completely. It would have given them time to
They
look at what an a Xbox One X looks like and be like, okay, that's obviously not running at the power of a One X. How do we make it run better?
well, and especially from a marketing point, you've got a lot more console players out there than you do have high-end PC
Yes.
players. Obviously, for the financial issue, and so what's your market strategy? In the end, you're selling, a
Yes.
disc. You're selling a game. So Since it isn't multiplayer and there isn't going to be a recurring cost, it's going to be those initial sales. And if you've got 4 times more consoles than you do have PCs, then you might want to target your release dates based on the technology for the console, not the PC.
And it's also, it comes down to looking at the current market, because, like, yes, it would have been very easy for them to say sorry that the generation of consoles has upgraded. This is, we weren't focused on Xbox One X's because nobody has them anymore. Problem is, nobody has a Series X and nobody has a PS5 because
You can't
nobody,
find them.
you can't find them. However, I will throw this out there just for the people that are listening. If they are listening tonight, starting at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, Best Buy is doing a major restock on One X or on Series X's and PS5s. Be on the lookout for that.
Good
but-
luck.
Getting one, the crashes will probably, the sites will probably crash again.
So it is only Best Buy, and Best Buy is seriously looking into that. I will
And
give
similar
Best Buy.
news, Antifa will be outside of Best Buy.
Yes, I will give Best Buy
Right.
credit on they are actively trying to stop bots. Are they going to be able to? Probably not, but they're trying.
Right?
But they should have looked at their market and understood that there are going to be a lot of people who will not have next gen. And when you got that kind of market,
And it could have been easy enough by just putting a statement that, performances may vary depending on
Yes.
generations of, platforms. Not everybody will have this level graphics unless you've got a $3,000 gaming rig invested.
Now, thinking on their side, let's be honest. If they had released any footage at any point in the time when they were talking about this and hyping up this game, if they had released any footage of this game running on an Xbox One X right now, people would have been like, yeah, no, I'm not buying that game.
Nobody does that.
They would have said, "Oh, you want to push it out another 3 months? Okay, I'm okay with that."
People would have said, that's what this game is going to look like if we make you release it now. We don't want it. And then
Yep.
their marketing would have been like, well, why the hell are we going to push it out now? Let's take 6 months and let's make it better.
I mean,
But
they're comparing it to Fallout 76.
yes,
What?
And
And the
that's-
Fallout Syndicate suffered the same problems, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they really did. I mean, and Fallout 70, I would say Fallout 76 is a good game now. I'm actually
is.
enjoying it. If it had been released in this state, it would have gotten rave reviews and it'd been a great Fallout game.
but
It
again,
didn't.
that's the problem with how
Rushing shit out.
yeah, and that's the problem with most of us as consumers do is, I mean, everybody joked about it, but some people were serious. They pushed back, they pushed the game back, 6 months the first time, and everybody was like, oh, whatever, that's fine. They pushed it back the second time, everybody was like, oh, Cyberpunk 2077, it's never coming out. And what do people expect when you have that many people that are saying, oh, I really wanted this game, but now it's never coming out because they're just going to keep pushing it back? What do you think they're going to do?
Put
They're
it
going to
out.
say,
Yeah.
let's get this
These are
game
people-
out now.
These are people who haven't played Star Citizen yet.
Yes.
Oh, let's not even get into that disaster. Oh my god.
But
The amount of money people have wasted on that fucking game. It's
the
oh
other
my
problem
god.
is these are people that have never experienced what it's like to have a deadline shoved down your throat. Because
Yeah.
I can only imagine all of those devs right now that have spent
It-
nights and days, 24 hours a day, just fucking barreling into this game to try and get it out, all because a marketing department told them that their
Oh,
people
dude,
wanted to buy the game.
what are you worried
They
about?
probably ran out of Mountain Dew and pizza.
what do you? I mean, I don't know what you guys worry about. They're still doing that. They haven't come out of the crunch yet because they still got to crunch to get these patches in. Because they got 2 more
Exactly.
patches coming in January
Well,
and
that's what I'm saying.
February to fix
That's what I'm
all
saying,
of the
like-
problems.
People don't
Hey,
realize
not
that
every-
like it's their own. It's our fault.
not everybody can be Blizzard. Not everybody can be Blizzard and have 2 decades worth of team to develop a game or a modification.
Yeah.
Totally took you all out of that
Do
one.
we
Yeah.
want to really get into Blizzard? Because they're fucking horrible
No.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, there's many things that could have gone better with Cyberpunk. Let's just leave it at that.
So I think overall Cyberpunk had a cult following, and the people who are going to play it on the PC and play it for the content are satisfied. The
loving it,
people who
yeah.
wanted the visual, fancy, flashy entertainment on a console that may not really know the cyberpunk genre to the nth degree are bitching. So
And let's be honest, ever since, COVID happened and everybody went into quarantine and a million
Playing
people
video
have
games?
started a million people started playing video games, and I swear to God, you cannot find a single PC part at Micro Center just because of all this stuff. I mean, all those kids are perfectly happy because they've got $3,000 PC builds now that they built for $1,500
Schooling.
because Micro Center is just sailing out their ass.
Hey man, you can't find parts anywhere anymore. Like PC
No.
GPUs are fucking non-existent.
Yeah.
And they're going to be for a while. I mean, our
that's
supply
the
chain
Bitcoin
is
miners.
well, that and COVID supply chain is finally catching up to a lot of this
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming back. It's going to take some while to get there until the whole world gets back to basically 100% production, which I'm sorry, we're not even fucking close. We're probably at what, 50,
No,
60%?
I wouldn't even give us that. Come on. We're at like maybe 30%. I mean,
Yeah.
How many months did it take us for us to not have to
yeah.
actively search for toilet paper in the stores?
I don't know, we're
Yeah,
6 months behind everybody out here in the middle of fucking butt fuck nowhere.
And-
So
For
I'm
toilet paper?
still dealing with it at work, and I mean, granted, most of my shit is car parts, and they come from the UK. But I mean, even still,
wipe
like
them bitches
shit,
down.
dude, shit just happens like randomly. Like we needed to order keys for a customer the other day, so we submitted a key order, and 3 weeks went by, and keys
Back
are only
ordered.
supposed to take a week. No, even worse. It's even better than
Yeah,
that. Just
you
you
guys
wait.
sell those keys for $600 a piece. So
So we ordered the keys. They weren't showing up. We called our helpline center for parts, and the exact words. Oh, we forgot to tell you, the entire key room tested positive for COVID, so it's shut down for the next month and a half.
Happy
No plan.
holidays. Goodbye. Click.
So back in January, I ordered
Oh.
something I ordered myself a new saddle for my horse, and
you did.
um and I ordered it, and it was custom. It was going to be shipped here by April. Like, everything was fine, everything was on schedule, and then like COVID hit, and I didn't get my saddle until June or July because the saddle's made in France, and all the factories completely shut down.
Yeah, when I was out
Yeah,
there for the
so
4th of
even
July, they were
though-
bitching about it.
Yeah. Even though my saddle was supposed to be in the shipment prior to when COVID hit, they then had to
Yeah.
apparently remake my saddle because they didn't know anything about like what was going to happen if they shipped those shipments. Like if
Is
COVID
the
was going to, miraculously
custom fitted to
seep
you?
into leather.
Yes, basically.
Like they
Oh,
just
okay.
didn't know.
I bet you could go to Texas and get one.
Not
Oh,
the same
God.
kind of saddle.
Anyway.
Let's end on a happy note. Can we just
Yeah, I'm
all-
not going to argue with anyone. I'm just going to simply say it's very different.
Can we just all appreciate, though, even though this is totally off topic, but I thought of it, can we just all appreciate how much effort Microsoft is still putting into Sea of Thieves?
No.
I was actually thinking about getting that game for Loki.
I'm not going to lie. If you get that game for Loki, I will actually get that game. That game would be so much fun, especially you too, Smurg. Like to
Yeah.
get us into Sea of Thieves and have a day where we just drink and play Sea of Thieves.
Arg.
It is. I will say, they did an open world shits and giggles game really well.
I'm waiting for Microsoft to buy Fortnite because it looks like Fortnite on Pirates or Pirates on Fortnite.
Does Sea of Thieves get very, very, very boring very, very quickly?
It's
I'm not
just the
even gonna
pirate
answer
ship.
that sentence.
He's been watching this the show called Zack Storm or whatever, and it's a pirate show, and I know Sea of Thieves is like this cartoony pirate game, and
So-
Assassin's Creed Black Flag is just not a game that I can't, just fuck that game. I know people love it. Don't get me wrong, it's probably a great game.
Yeah,
That's fine,
it's-
wonderful for you guys. For me, fuck that game. The only other
Here's
option
the
is
thing.
there's one on Steam, but that's more realistic and role playing type, and I would just rather have him doing something like
Yeah.
the Sea of Thieves. Plus, it's
Here's the
crossplay.
thing I will say about Sea of Thieves. It's very toxic, first off.
Can't you do
and
private
there's-
worlds?
No, you can't do private worlds. It is
Nope,
very
never mind.
toxic.
Sorry, Loki, you won't
they
be getting that.
They have changed it a lot where you can, I mean, obviously you can always turn off world chat, you can always do a bunch of things. Before, there was no real way for you to kind of, you were just there in the world with a bunch of other people. Now there is ways for you to say, like, I'm just exploring, I'm just doing this.
Yep.
I don't know if it really matters or not. I haven't jumped back into the game, but I'm
So
mostly
as
just very
of
much appreciating the fact that they are still so into it.
the end of June, Polygon put out an article saying that private servers are coming to the game, but the feature is currently in a very limited alpha. So
That was 6 months ago.
yeah, I mean, I just Googled it quickly. Like I didn't put much other effort into it, but
No, that just means I got at least another 6 months before I even have to worry about it.
And if you're following the Cyberpunk
Yeah.
timeline, that's about 18 months.
Ooh.
Ooh, shots fired.
All right, and on that note, we're gonna call it a night. Thank you guys for
Oh
joining.
man,
and
you
thank
forgot about the best thing to release this week.
Oh, what's that?
Master Chief showed up in Fortnite.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that, we're gonna say
Actually,
goodnight.
no. Wait.
bedtime.
So the problem with that I have is the only way to get fucking Master Chief in Fortnite is to buy it with real
Yeah.
fucking money, and it costs
And I told
$2,600
son.
or 2,600 V-bucks.
Yeah,
don't know if
I
I
told
can
my
do
son
$26.
that.
He cost
I told my son that too.
$2,600.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I want it.
I saw
but-
that. I did the same thing. I clicked on it. I went, "What? No, it's V-Bucks. Come on,
Oh, yeah, I know, right? It's like I want it.
let's go back to
I don't want it that bad.
upgrading my Beskar armor on the Mandalorian."
Yeah, right. All right.
Yeah. So with that, we're gonna go to bed now.
All right. You have a good day, Smirk.
It's time to
Yeah,
make coffee.
we'll catch you
will.
later. Thank you guys for listening.
Thanks
Peace.
for waking up early.
Later, guys.
Do what?
Bye.
Ciao.
All
Bye.
right, later.
It's gonna take